So I was watching the new Spider-Man movie.
Is this the one Into the Spider-Verse or something like that?
No, that's Sony Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
Oh, we're going to talk about Spider-Man today. Oh, are we going to talk about Spider-Man today? Okay, that's not the topic. But in the movie...
Spider-Man.
In the movie, Spider-Man, this is the Tom Holland Spider-Man,
Yeah.
throws a Mickey Mouse doll at one point in the movie. And yeah, obviously that's a nod to the fact that the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is owned by Disney.
That's our topic.
Our topic is Disney.
Disney. So, hi everybody, I'm Jamie Grum.
And I'm Nick Drago.
And we are Big Spoon.
And Little Spoon.
And here what we do is we take a topic and we pull it out of a hat. It's totally random. We do not know until right before we film it. And we just then discuss the topic to the best of our knowledge. And we have a little fun along the way, get a little off topic. But today's topic is Disney too big? So, yeah.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
Yeah.
We're going so off topic so quickly here, but is the name of your beer Johann?
Yeah, so I was just talking to
You were talking to
Johanna.
my wife about that. My wife's name is Johanna, which is literally spelled Johann with an N and then an A at the end.
If you look on there and you'll see that,
visible?
I think it might be visible. Here we go, a little closer.
Oh yeah, get really close.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be backwards maybe.
Backwards? I better not
I don't
be.
know. I don't know.
Anyway, so
Did we just advertise for them? Do you want to give us money?
I wanted to ask them when I picked up the beers, be like, hey, I'm doing a podcast. And not that I want free beer, but I'll be
Are
like,
they a local brewery?
they're right around the corner. When we moved to Collegeville,
Oh my
they
god, you should totally ask them.
Of course I will,
Yeah.
because they have so many great beers. Anyway, really quick, just now we're getting off topic, so I want to say, when I spoke to Johanna about it, she said, just take a little Sharpie and put an A on the end of it, and then it's my beer. But yeah, I do want to, because local breweries and everywhere local, like I kind of want to, kind of do some outreach, and if ever we can like partner up with, say, hey, I'll give you a shout out or whatnot.
That's very hipster of you.
Yeah, I'm not really a hipster, but I guess the glasses kind of made me change a little bit. I used to look like this.
Ooh, sexy.
Yeah. No, I like the glasses better now.
Oh! Okay, so is Disney too big? So
Yeah. Brothers Kirshner, by the way, if anyone's interested, that's what it was on there. If you're looking to go get a beer, they're really nice. Sorry,
that's okay.
I had to plug it.
That's okay. Is Disney too big?
It is definitely too big.
But why?
So, I don't really remember how the feeling of it was, but Star Wars. It started with Star Wars. Marvel happened afterwards. And you can tell the difference in the styles now of how they are. Because, we had the prequel series, right? And that wasn't as great. It was still kind of like right before that happened, and the style was different. But things that were coming out afterwards, like the animated things and all that, it just didn't feel the same feeling that you would get from the original three. And it's because now they have this hold on what we're allowed to produce creativity-wise.
Part of the magic with Star Wars is that there were 3 movies, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it was such a big deal. And granted, the first Star Wars at its time was the highest grossing movie of all time, right? Now it's Endgame, Avengers Endgame, which is another Disney-owned property.
Another Disney-owned.
But anyway, so at that time there was so little Star Wars that any movie that came out was going to be huge. That's why I think Force Awakens is the highest grossing Star Wars movie ever.
Yeah.
It crossed. I think it crossed $2 billion.
You have to
Not
confirm that one.
many movies have.
Yeah.
So it's one of like maybe 8, not even, maybe like 6 or 7 movies that have crossed the $2 billion mark, which is gigantic. Anyway, so there was so little of it that when it came out, it was a big deal. Now they're just kind of throwing a new movie. There's been a Star Wars movie every year for the last 5 years now.
It's like you have to now have this saturation in it. That's kind of how I feel with the Marvels. And I know I talked to you about this in the past, where I just feel like there's so many Marvel films now that it's just...
I think they're up to 22, 23.
And now you see the whole plan that they have for the next year or so with all these movies, couple of years with all the movies, and it's just... At what point is it's just too much?
Yeah, I think what they did, when they finished Endgame, I think they made a good point of...
I didn't see Endgame, by the way. I actually
No
have not
spoilers.
really watched any of the Marvel films since maybe the
Oh my
first Avengers.
Okay.
I had to stop. Back then I had to stop, and now it's even worse.
No.
Although I did like Chris Pratt.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's a great one.
So honestly, though, when I'm looking at a movie that's going to make you excited, that's, it's not... You're not watching a artistic film here. It's a popcorn flick. You sit down, you eat a ton of popcorn, and you enjoy... When I watch a movie, I enjoy the graphics and, the editing, what went into building this. And what's crazy about Endgame is there's so many characters getting a voice. The cast is unbelievable that you might never see such a big cast of characters again in film, or you're only going to see it because that's what it's going to be moving forward. I'm biased. I love those movies. I teared up at the end of Endgame. It was beautiful. It was amazing.
All right.
And even though they tell you here's the next movies coming out, the next 6 or so movies coming out, there's no idea of where's this going. Like when Iron Man, it started with Iron Man and then Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2.
I just remember like Iron Man 2.
Nobody knew like we're gonna connect all these movies together. There was no sense of that. I mean,
did they have that planned from the beginning though?
No. So the first Iron Man, so at the time when this happened, it wasn't owned by Disney. Marvel Studios, back in the day, like the 80s, 90s, Marvel sold its properties off to other film studios. The big names, X-Men, Spider-Man.
Wow.
Those were all given out to other studios because they weren't thinking of making their own movie studio.
That's so wild.
And what really changed it, Blade was the big one. Blade had 3 movies. It was very popular. They're making a new Blade now with Mahershala Ali, which is going to be awesome. But Spider-Man blew away any superhero movie. Spider-Man 2 specifically is still to this day considered one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. Right? It's the one with Doc Ock. Yeah. So what happened is Marvel realized that there is money in this. So they build their own studio from scratch. They decide, what do we have left? Properties we didn't sell off. Iron Man, Captain America, and they had Thor. It's like, okay, we have the basis for a few movies here. And
so did they know that they were going to do Avengers?
No. They did Iron Man 1, and they said if this succeeds, that's awesome.
Oh, man. And then, of course, they got Robert Downey Jr., and they're like, we're sitting on a gold mine.
Well, yeah, when that movie finished, it was like, that movie, again, that's also considered at the time, it's a little dated now when you watch it, because it's such a typical... It's a typical superhero theme.
I do love it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little dated now, but it's still a great movie, and it's a great start to this whole thing.
Yeah.
And so, when they made The Incredible Hulk, it was the same idea. Let's just see if this succeeds.
Yeah. Well,
and so, what they thought it would be fun. What if we had Robert Downey Jr. show up in a post-credit scene? And that, nothing crazy. He just shows up. He talks to I can't remember the actor, but he plays Thunderbolt Ross, the general in the Incredible Hulk saga, and they have this whole conversation, and that was really it. And then Iron Man 2 is when you really felt like there's more to this. Because they dropped hints that there could be more, but never really went into it until Iron Man 2, where they officially were like, yeah, we're trying to build a team. You know, we want you to lead it. Like, that's what, by Iron Man 2, they had fully fleshed out what they were doing.
Yeah, what is that called? S.H.I.E.L.D. came in, and once you saw S.H.I.E.L.D., you're like...
Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. showed up in the first Iron Man.
So, you know, I don't want to say that I don't hate the series. I do, I'm really interested. Holy cow, how much money do I have to throw down to watch all these movies?
So this is one of the reasons I like that Disney is doing a lot of the right things with these properties. They're bringing in people that understand the source material, and that's why these movies are so successful. But what Disney does is when the big new Disney release comes out, and they know people are going to flock to the theaters, they tell the local movie theaters, hey, you're going to show our movie, but we get, let's say, 60% of the profits. And I'm not giving you specific numbers because I don't remember them. But
so they're asking for more than usual. They request
more than usual from these movie theaters.
Because the movie theaters want them because they're going to bring business in.
Yeah. And so what movie theater is going to say no to that? Why would I say no to...
You know, that's funny because I did not think about like what goes into... That'd be a cool topic to go into is the marketing of films and how they get out to movie theaters.
That's a great topic.
Like, wow. Do you guys know anything on that? That'd be cool to have ahead of time.
Email us. wehateforks@gmail.com. So Disney... So these little movie theaters, they have the option here. Mm-hmm. Do I show... this subpar, or I don't want to say subpar. Do I show this romantic comedy?
Okay, yeah.
Do I show this romantic comedy starring Katherine Heigl, or do I show Avengers Endgame? But I don't get as much of the pie.
But I can get more.
People are going to show up because
so it might even out for them though.
Yeah, but they could be making more.
They could be, yeah.
And that's the problem. The other thing I found interesting with these movies is Robert Downey Jr. when they made the first Iron Man. They didn't know if it would succeed or not. So Robert Downey Jr. was like, you know what? I'll take, I want to say it's 5%. Some percentage of what this movie brings in. And they're like, yeah, okay. So the first Iron Man, maybe he got a couple $1,000s for it. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame made $2.7 billion. He got a percentage, like a 5% stake in that.
Robert Downey Jr.
Just him.
The dude is gonna be... He's loaded.
He's loaded doing these movies. So it's no wonder they killed him off. Because it's like, okay, like...
excuse me?
The movie's been out for like 6 months now, Jamie. We're going to put a spoiler alert in the tag. We're going to have to put a spoiler alert in that tag.
Now I don't want to watch it.
Why?
Because...
That's not the only thing that happens.
Okay, does Spider-Man come back?
I'm not going to tell you anything.
Well, you already ruined the best part about the Marvel series.
No. There's so much more that happens in Endgame.
Son of a... So they killed him off to save some money.
Okay, but for the record, his contract has been so widely publicized for years, it should not be a surprise. Because from the get-go... Him and Chris Evans were signed for X number of movies.
Yeah.
That's common knowledge. You could have looked this up.
Yeah.
And you could have done the math and said, oh, wait, that number of movies is going to run out.
And they weren't going to re-sign it.
And there's all of the actors.
Yeah.
I think now they keep it more of a secret because they realize, oh shit, cat's out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the actors, the original couple of actors and actresses, you can look up how many movies that they.
So there's not going to be another Iron Man movie, unless it's going to be
we're not going to talk about it because apparently I'm just like Tom Holland who spoils everything. So Disney controls Star Wars. They control Marvel, but the biggest domino to fall is Disney bought a major studio in Fox.
They did.
And really, Fox gave them everything that isn't Fox News, right?
And they bought. Oh no! So they bought out Hulu, I think.
So Hulu, Fox owned a 50-something. They owned a percentage of Hulu,
Yeah.
high percentage of Hulu,
Yeah.
because it was a joint venture with them and one or two of the other
Mhm.
big networks. Is they created Hulu in order to fight off Netflix.
And Netflix, for some reason, still has Disney movies every once in a while. They
For
have
now.
the frog one.
Princess and the
The
Frog.
Princess and the Frog.
Well, Netflix is going to lose a lot of those properties. So all the Marvel movies have been killed off. They're done by Netflix. They're not making
Yeah,
anymore.
so my favorite show ever, Daredevil, that they
Yeah.
had on there, was so good. Was so good. They had the best actor, and they could have just taken him over and moved him over, because the people writing those shows, with the exception of Jessica Jones and Iron Fist, because those two were flops, except with the
what? Jessica Jones is the best one.
No. Okay, I apologize. Jessica Jones is good. However, it doesn't really lead you until they finally meet. Iron Fist, though, was absolutely god-awful. Okay, so I'll take that back. Jessica Jones was good.
The first season...
Iron Fist was...
Did you watch the second season?
Of Iron Fist?
Yes.
No. 'Cause
Apparently it was really good.
better have been. David Tennant, however, I love you. You are the best.
What was he?
I just need to see you in more stuff. Good Omens was amazing.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
I don't...
He was the doctor for a time.
Oh. Yeah, well, yeah. What did that have to do with...
He was
With
in Jessica
Iron Fist.
Jones. Sorry, I just had to say that. He was in Jessica
Oh.
Jones, and he was so good.
I didn't realize that. You're right. That was him.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you know what? I take it back because Jessica Jones did have some great stuff to it. So
It was a
Iron
good
Fist was
show.
really cool.
It was just too depressing to watch
Yeah.
more than one episode at a time.
And what was Luke Cage? I really liked Luke Cage too.
Yeah, that was great.
That had just like the coolest style to it.
Yeah.
And the writers were having so much fun, and
So the thought is that Disney might try to bring all these properties back.
but not with the same actors.
Why?
That's what I've seen. They said they're
Oh,
not going
that's-
to bring back the actors.
That's a shame because Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin was awesome.
Oh,
in Daredevil.
man.
He did such a great job.
Yeah, he was really good.
So Disney's trying to compete with Netflix. Netflix just announced they're raising their prices again, and they're not going to have The Office. They're not going to have Friends anymore.
And this is what Netflix does. So let's just sidetrack to Netflix in comparison to Disney. Because you know what? We're talking about this and I'm sitting here thinking, wow, Disney, those jerks are taking over things. But now I'm starting to think like, yeah, like they're at least making these films that are going places. Netflix, I've noticed, has all these shows that they make that are good, and then they cancel them.
What Netflix does, Netflix, you have to understand, most shows that go to Netflix were not accepted. It used to be this way. Were shows that like no studio wanted to touch, and Netflix was like, yeah, okay, we'll give you a chance. We're going to give you carte blanche. Do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And for some shows, it really works. First season or two of House of Cards, Orange is the New Black was really good for a couple seasons.
Yeah.
Stranger Things is chugging along nicely. Again, I haven't seen season
Stranger
3.
Things.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a lot of good, but then what Netflix does is we need big names.
Yeah.
All right, Adam Sandler, we're going to give you a 4-movie deal. Just do whatever the hell you want. We don't even care.
No.
And those movies are horrible.
No.
They're absolutely horrible.
You do not just give
So-
Adam Sandler free reign.
Yeah, so Netflix is also doling out contracts and just trying to produce as much content as possible.
Yeah.
But the content they have, honestly, because a lot of those shows I mentioned fall apart after 1, 2, 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So the content they have isn't long term, and it's not sustainable. And you know what? They're going to lose the good stuff. They're going to lose the 2 big draws on Netflix are Friends and The Office.
They're gonna lose. Yeah, I heard about The Office,
Friends too.
but Friends is
It's
leaving,
costing
and Friends
them-
like just got on there too.
Well, Friends has been there for a long time, but it costs them millions to have Friends. To the point where the last time they almost lost it, they had to raise their prices. That was the start of this
So
whole
who's
thing.
gonna get Friends?
The company that owns it, which is, I want to say NBC.
So how do you watch it
CBS?
other than going to like NBC or CBS?
They're going to have their own app.
Son of a. So
It's-
okay, I'm gonna spend now I want my HBO, I want my Hulu, I want my Netflix, just to watch these shows because, let's face it, regular cable, it fucking sucks.
So what'll happen is if you have...
Excuse my language, I curse.
What do you have, Verizon, Comcast?
I have Verizon.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You have a login.
Yeah.
You can go to their websites today and watch all those shows.
Like AMC.
If you can watch it on your television,
Yeah.
you have access to their streaming services. And that's what it's going to be, essentially, for the big networks. They're going to try and sell... What they're selling on those services is ads. So you're going to have to suffer with commercials again. Netflix got rid of that. But do I want to pay $14 a month to watch crummy TV and no commercials? Probably not.
Yeah, so that's the thing is, I did get rid of my Netflix. I rely on, making sure that someone I know has it.
I'm cable cutter.
And I'm going to lose that now.
Well, I'm going to tell you the same advice I tell everybody else, and
Yeah.
no one takes me up on this. Any show, any movie, anything you're looking for is available online for free.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You got to go and find it somewhere. You're not sure what quality it's going to be.
I can find you movies that are in the theaters. Do you want to know how I watch Spider-Man? On my phone, great quality.
So
what?
if
There's
I wanted to
Chinese
watch
letters at the bottom.
I wanted to watch the new Lion King.
How long's it been out? 3 weeks?
Yeah, I guess.
It's possible.
All right.
That's a little harder because it's new.
I want to watch that with my son.
We can keep talking while I do
Cool.
this.
So anyway, let's get back to Disney. Okay, so
Absolutely.
we know that stuff like the Netflix is kind of just, it's doing the same thing, but Disney's actually succeeding. So again, my thought process going into this topic was Disney is kind of like this evil doer, but at the same time they're producing quality.
Right.
So what are we going to see from Disney in the future?
Well, obviously, you're going to have more Marvel movies to talk about. You're going to have Netflix. You're going to have... I'm sorry, not Netflix. I think I found it.
Oh my god.
Wait.
Up. Is that going to be bouncing around the whole time?
Yeah, once in a while. There it is. You got the movie right here.
Oh, it's kind of fuzzy though, but
Who cares? What do you need perfect quality for? You're watching a movie on your phone.
I know, and I know it's
So
for free.
okay, so I'm sorry. If you want to watch with slightly less great quality, you can find any movie you want for free. Cancel your Netflix, cancel your cable. I haven't paid for that stuff in years. And I see movies that are in theater.
Mhm.
I watch all the hot shows. Really anything I want.
Cool.
It's all there.
So if I want to watch all the Marvel films, you got me covered?
Yeah.
He's got me covered.
Got
I'll
covered.
get caught up, and then I'll give you updates throughout the show and where I'm at.
22 movies later.
I'll give you my opinions.
So what were we just talking about?
Disney.
No, but while I was doing that,
The
I was
phone.
only half paying attention.
Okay, wait, hold on. Now I lost my train of thought here. Oh no, we're talking about the future of
Well,
Disney.
yeah. So obviously the Star Wars, probably Marvel properties.
Yeah.
Anything on Fox.
Yeah.
All of that stuff they're going to put onto Disney Plus, which is that's going
How
to be
much
their
is
app.
Disney Plus gonna be?
Less than Netflix.
Really?
Yep.
So if I can get rid of my Hulu,
Yeah. Well, Hulu is going to be a thing of the past. If CBS, NBC, and Disney are going to roll out their own apps, why is Hulu even there?
so the stuff that I like to watch on Hulu, like The Wiggles,
Yeah.
do the propeller,
No, we're not doing that.
do the propeller, do the propeller around and around.
Okay, then.
Sorry, my son and I watch The Wiggles a lot.
Oh, it's not just you? That's because I was
Not just me.
a little concerned there for a little bit.
Nope,
Okay.
but it gets stuck in your head when you listen to it.
Oh,
all
I'm
day.
sure it does.
So anyway, so it's all going to be kind of this one big thing. So I may have to switch over to Disney.
Oh, we're totally doing Disney Plus. Think about it this way. Not only do you have all the Fox, the Marvel movies, the Star Wars, all their movies, the Mighty Ducks and everything else. We grew up in the age of Disney Channel. All of those Disney Channel shows,
I never watched
all
Disney
those
Channel.
Disney movies. Oh, you don't have the same sentimental. It's that
No.
a lot of other Americans
No.
who did have the Disney Channel growing up.
Yeah.
All those are going to be available on Disney Plus.
Cool. So now we just plug Disney Plus.
You know what? It's worth it. This is some episode. We're plugging beer. We're plugging. Why are we plugging talking beer. We're talking about Disney.
I would really
how
like
horrible.
to get. Can we get to the beer one time? That'd be cool.
It's in the hat.
We'll find
it's in
it.
The hat.
I'm not going to pick it out. It has to be random, no matter what. We're holding ourselves accountable here.
Yeah.
Although we did throw out. I wrote down flying, and I was just like,
yeah, fuck that.
Fucking no, I'm not doing that one.
So maybe one day when we're running out of ideas, but that's gonna be a long time.
Which one?
Flying.
Flying?
Yeah.
Flying.
So the real root of the question, question is Disney too big?
But
we
it
can
is
agree.
big.
We
It
can
is
agree
big.
it's big. Absolutely.
Is it?
Absolutely it's big.
How would it be too big?
A lot of people have been throwing around the term monopoly, and that's not true because they have competition. Sure,
but think about it. How fast if we're losing Hulu, which is right up there with
that's
Netflix.
Theoretical. I don't know for sure if they're going to lose Hulu.
Netflix is going to have to change then, because that's what Disney's doing. Is a change. It currently has changed the market. If we're talking about all these things that they're doing here, they're going to have an advantage now because Netflix is losing its viewers because they keep throwing out those contracts and they go nowhere. I feel like when I'm watching it, what am I watching this show that it's canceled? There's no ending to it.
And so I usually
I hate that.
I usually wait for a show until it's on for like 3 seasons before I watch it, because I know at that point if it's successful enough, it's going to take off, and it's worth at least watching 3 seasons worth of content.
Yeah, if the writers can find a way to end it at 3 seasons, that's great. But if I see 3 seasons on a show, I look it up. So one that really scared me. Now let's look at Amazon. Because Amazon has its own streaming service too, and we forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Amazon saved one of my favorite shows.
Are you about to bring up a show I think you're about to bring up because I'm reading the books? Is The Expanse?
It is.
Yeah,
I'm not saying anything, I promise you.
I think
You're farther in the books than I am because I'm bad when it comes to reading. I'll read and I'll stop and I'll start over again.
I'm through the third. I finished the 3rd book a few months ago.
Then you should watch the show now.
I'm going to be reading the 4th book because
Then watch the show.
The show's beyond where I am.
Really?
Yes, I know that for a fact.
No. Because it goes Leviathan Wakes, Caliban's War, and
Chapola's Run.
Chapola's Run is before the gate.
Yes.
Really?
So I don't want to spoil things. I already did.
Don't. I won't spoil the show, and you don't spoil the book.
I know for a fact that the show is just slightly beyond where I'm at.
Chapola's Run doesn't show up in...
And the reason I know that is because they have this weird half-season thing going on where midway through their season, they're finishing a book and starting the next one.
Yeah, so the show's not going to last that long.
They're halfway through book 4. There's a lot. There's 8 or 9
Those
books.
2 writers, I have to say, are so good. I want to write. I like being creative. This is why I like to do stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to write. I feel like because they were working together to write something, that's why it's that good. Because every time it switches a character, you're getting a whole different perspective because it's someone else writing.
They have each other to work off of.
Oh my god, now we're going to have to talk about this.
You're trying to tell me to write a book, Jamie.
Do you want to write a book with me?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
I have to write an article for work.
Really?
Yeah, I volunteered to do this for our company newsletter. So I'm a physical therapist.
You took over the marketing for this whole thing too. You're like, if I don't have access to the Facebook, I'm going to be mad.
For what? Me?
For your job.
Oh, I didn't say I was going to be mad. Either way, it's a whole big thing. Anyway, so
Amazon.
I don't think Disney's too big.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're a monopoly. They're big.
Have Amazon.
They're certainly big.
They have Netflix.
Everybody's pumping out content left and right. You got Amazon, and you got HBO, and you got Hulu. There's everybody. So I don't think it's too big. I'm happy Amazon saved The Expanse so that when I finish the books, I can finally watch it.
Yeah.
So
you have to finish the books.
Yeah, I got a long way to go.
Alright, so I'm going to have to get on reading now so I can experience it again.
I'm
trying to convince Michelle to watch it.
I get my best reading done on vacations.
Okay.
And so we have 2 big trips coming up to Florida and Arizona in the next month.
There you go.
And so, not next month, in September and October. So I'll have a lot of time to read while I'm on those trips. So, alright, why don't we take a break and do some research?
Yeah, cool.
Alright, bye!
Hi friends, I'm Nick Drago, host of Sports with Nick Drago. Are you looking for a podcast that's going to give you all the sports news and information and just have a lot of fun doing it? Well, this might be the one for you. Sports with Nick Drago. We're on every Sunday, and you can find us on Facebook, SoundCloud, Twitter, and the YouTube. Just type in Sports with Nick Drago. That's me. We'll talk all about some sports. We'll have a little fun, maybe some laughs. You know how it goes. You can find us wherever you like to listen to your podcasts.
Okay, we're back from commercial.
Yeah, that was actually a hard one to research for me.
It really was, because anything I read either had, like, it's all theoretical. Like, what if Disney does this?
Yeah, but I did see a lot of the things talking about the fact that AT&T did, in fact, sell their 10% share back to Hulu, which means that, for the most part, Disney pretty much owns Hulu now.
Yes, they own a majority stake in Hulu.
But I don't think, from what I've read there, that it's going to be, like, it's just going to drop off and then we're just going to have the Disney. I feel like there will be Hulu, maybe a different Hulu, and then there'll be the Disney streaming service.
It's possible. They might keep Hulu. Some people who don't know Disney owns it and doesn't want Disney Plus might stick with Hulu, and that's fine too.
It's still Disney,
it may
though.
slowly... Sorry, hiccups. It may slowly phase out. Oh, so much better. So the only thing I really found in my research was confirming what I was talking about with the movie theaters, in that legally a studio is allowed to request up to 70% of profits from ticket sales to a movie theater. Up to 70%. Disney requests 65%.
Come on now. They're like,
and I think
that bad.
That may have just been for I think that was for Infinity War. The article I read was before Endgame.
Do you think that other companies might have done more? If you guys find out if any company that has ever charged that much to put their movies into a movie theater, please give us a shout out on Facebook, Instagram. Wait, Instagram?
Well, we're not on Instagram.
Twitter.
Should we be on Instagram?
Maybe we should be on Instagram.
I'm going to let you handle that.
Okay, I might do that. But Twitter and Facebook, email us at wehateforks@gmail.com. Love to hear if you find anything on that one. That'd be really cool to see.
What it did say is that the average is like 40 to 50%.
Okay.
So.
All right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild, though.
Yeah, I think so.
So, really, I haven't found much else on there.
Yeah, I think we kind of... I mean, we had a lot of talking points before.
Yeah.
So this was clearly a topic we were a little more knowledgeable on. And granted, we did talk movies, like half of it. So
I think most of it...
fun.
If we were going to rename this episode, it'd be like...
Movies owned by Disney.
Movies owned by Disney. I don't like the Avengers, but I actually do. So I think I might watch a few more of the Avenger, like, Marvel series, just to be able to say, like, you know, I know what you guys are talking about.
I'm sorry I spoiled part of Endgame for you. A very minuscule part that everybody guessed long beforehand.
I really like Robert Downey Jr. What's that poor man going to do now?
He's still alive. I won't spoil anything else about the movie.
He's in another universe.
Yeah, maybe he'll come back. I don't know. Listen, it's Marvel Disney. How many times has Loki died? I mean, realistically, who knows? He could.
The Hulk can smash him into the ground as many times as possible.
Yeah, he could come back for all we know. So
and there's a movie. There's a Loki movie coming out.
It's a TV series. It's like a mini series. So part of what Disney Plus is doing is that they're making 3 mini series.
Is it going to be the same actor?
Tom Hiddleston, yeah.
He's going to do that?
Oh. So there's four mini series that they're making. They're also doing like a what if like cartoon series, which is cool because all the original like actors are coming back to do the voices.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of neat. But they're doing 4 movies. One is going to be based on Hawkeye.
Okay.
And that was Jeremy Renner was like, hell yeah, like this is what I want to do. And Disney was like, yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
One is going to be about Scarlet Witch and Vision, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with them very much. Yeah, they're like in love. And I won't tell you what happens in Infinity War or Endgame.
He's the robot, right?
He's an android.
And they're in love. Oh, how sweet.
So they have their own show.
Yeah.
Again, I think they're going to be very short series.
Yeah.
And it'll probably just be complementary to the movies. I don't think it'll be as necessary to view them. You'll have a Loki series with Tom Hiddleston coming back to do Loki.
Okay.
And then you're going to have, and this is the one I'm super excited for, it's going to be Falcon and Bucky in a team-up series.
What is Falcon and Bucky?
I fucking hate you. So, Falcon is like Captain America's sidekick. Yeah. He's the one, like, he has wings and he can fly. He doesn't have, like, they're robot wings. Shut up. It sounds so much more ridiculous. But he is by far, like, he is by far one of my favorites. And Bucky is Winter Soldier.
Did you actually, like, read comics as a kid?
No, but I
know...
So
you just know all this now.
I just know it. Dude,
I wish I had read comic books.
I don't read comic books, but I read, like, stories and what happens in things. Okay. And so it's funny, I know about content without actually viewing that content.
Yeah.
I just like to read.
You do like to read and research. This is why, like, you've been finding a lot of things. I'm just kind of like... I like my, like, well...
This was a topic that I didn't know, that I knew too much about.
You did.
This is a topic I know a lot about.
It's good, because I learned something. I'm probably going to... This is going to be my third attempt to get into the Marvel series, by the way, because I've tried it before.
22 movies.
On your Bachelor weekend, I used to poo-poo that.
All right, here's what I'm going to tell you.
That's good marketing.
The total amount of minutes for the Marvel films, all of the first, like, 20-something that create the Infinity Saga, is 3,000 minutes. 3,000 minutes of content.
What's that? The GIF, like...
But that's an Easter egg for you, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, and you have to watch all the movies to figure out.
The 3,000.
Yep, you have to figure out what the Easter egg is, and you're not allowed to look it up either. That's my challenge to you.
I already know what it is.
What is it?
It's the outcomes.
The what? No.
From Doctor Strange's thing?
No.
Okay. Never mind.
No, he looked at, like, something, like $1 billion or something. Okay. Either way. All right, is that all we have?
I think that's all we have today. We talked a lot before the research part.
Special thanks to Johanna Drago for the set design and logo design of this podcast. We've been totally forgetting Josh Woodward.
No, we got him in. Did we get him in?
No, we didn't.
Josh Woodward has been doing all the music for the videos of the one intro.
So if the music for this podcast is a song called "As I Am." It's by Josh Woodward. You can find a link to his website in the show notes. It will
Plenty of great stuff.
It will be in the show notes for the first few episodes that we didn't say this in. So we're good. We're not going to get sued.
We're sorry, Josh.
We're not going to get sued. And that's it for special thanks. Thanks to you, the fans, for coming out.
Yes, and we always love hearing from you guys. If you ever do a shout out on Facebook and Twitter, definitely going to be active on there, and just love to see what you guys think.
Yeah, and you can email us too at wehateforks.
We hate forks.
We hate forks.
We hate forks.
We hate forks.
We hate. He hates this. Go ahead.
We hate forks at gmail.com. I think that's it. I think we're good for this episode. We're done. We're fine. Okay. Thank you.